Welcome, friends. This is Sylvia Bowles welcoming you to another wee video aimed at empowering you, helping you with tips, reminders, perhaps some fresh new ideas that will help you to live a happier, more fulfilling, more successful life. Because isn't that, after all, what we're all seeking? So let me ask you this: see if any of this sounds familiar. Perhaps you've read all the correct books, seen the videos or the movies, and you have diligently applied the techniques and the tools to perhaps attract or to manifest something that you deeply desire, and yet it still eludes you. And you've checked it again. Yes, I'm doing it correctly, but something is missing. I wonder if that's part of your story. It has been in the past for me too. So that got me really thinking about it and delving even deeper. And what I found was that there is a missing ingredient. So, what is this missing ingredient? Well, it's beyond just beliefs and thoughts, although they, of course, are the starting point, they are your foundation, but you have to energize them with feelings, with emotions. And when you do, they become what we call attitudes. And attitudes are how you view life, view circumstances, view what it is you're doing. And my dear friend and colleague, Dr. Bruce Lipton, he said, know that your attitudes create and shape the life and the world that you experience. And another lovely 20th century mystic, Charles Haanel, he put it this way: the mental attitude is the magnet and the law that like attracts like. Consequently, the mental attitude will invariably attract such conditions as correspond to its nature. So that's just two very wise people who have realized how important this missing ingredient, that I'm calling it, how your attitude does shape your life and your success and your conditions. So let me give you some examples so you can see how it really works. Let's say perhaps that as you were growing up, the folk around you, maybe your parents, were rather worried about being ripped off, other people taking advantage of them, and sadly, because they held that belief and that thought, that often happened, which again, of course, proved it to them. So they developed this attitude, this outlook on life that said, oh, I've got to be careful and watchful because the world isn't a very happy or kind place and people are out to get me. And so you too took that on board. It became embedded in your subconscious. And along with it, it generated, although you didn't realize it, a fear around the world and how it was going to treat you, a fear around people and not trusting them. And so this then is likely to have developed, in a more extreme case, into feeling a victim, what we call victim consciousness. Now, if that carries on and that becomes your regular everyday attitude, and don't forget, your beliefs and your thoughts and your attitudes are faithfully recorded in your subconscious mind. And as we know from neuroscience, your subconscious mind actually rules and controls 95% of your life, unless you're aware of making a particular focus for the other 5%. But as soon as you switch that into everyday life, by default, the other beliefs, attitudes, thoughts, and so on in your subconscious will take over. So that's why this is so important to understand these principles and do something about it, which is what I'm coming to in a moment or two. So if you feel that you're a victim, and people who do feel that, what happens? They're emanating this energy, this powerful emotion, this feeling of fear, and this victimhood. And so, of course, that attracts to them circumstances that prove to them that that is actually how things really are. The subconscious is good about that. It sets about going to prove what you have registered in it, in your beliefs and thoughts and attitudes. And for example, if people do believe that and feel a victim, they may often get burgled, for example. And I don't know whether you've noticed, sadly, that anyone who seems to have that experience very rarely experiences as a one off. They seem to have a series of burglaries. It goes on, sometimes can keep repeating for years. And that's because, as I mentioned just now, um, you keep reinforcing this incorrect attitude and this feeling of victimhood. And so, of course, that's what you're emanating. It gets proven, and it's like a domino effect. It strengthens, and so you attract it again and again. So this is how powerful the feelings that been generated around your thoughts and beliefs really are, that then create what we call attitudes. So, what can you do about it? Well, I've done research and testing for many decades now. It's something I'm passionate about, and I prove that things work before I share them. And of course, what I found is that there is what I call an A list of 7 very powerful, very successful um, attitudes. I call them my A list of 7 attitudes. And if you activate those, make them an active part of your whole belief system, your subconscious, and so forth, then they will help either completely wipe out some of these negative ones you may have running that you're not aware of, and being able to replace them with the positive. So by having these, you actually then are choosing what you create and choosing what you experience and attract in your life. Now, this uh, little A list of 7 attitudes, I'm very happy to let you have a PDF copy if you would like. I've put it into a little booklet. And if you just go to my website, which is this, you'll find it's right there, offering this as a download. You just say where you want it sent to, and you can download this book of these 7 very powerful, basic, positive attitudes. Also, following this video, I will be doing a series of 5 more, and in those 5, I will be explaining more about these 7 A-list attitudes and how you can activate them, and so they become not just a knowing, because that's where it starts, an intellectual knowing about something or understanding it, but you actually integrate it. It becomes part of you, it becomes part of your everyday experience. And for a very simple example, just to get you started, what's your first attitude when you open your eyes in the morning? Well, the attitude of gratitude. If you work on that every day, so the first thing you do, well, first thing I do is smile, because that immediately sets the tone for the day. The day follows the way the corners of your mouth go. And by then, being grateful, either aloud or in your mind, for anything, big or small, your night's sleep, your lovely bed, or for the day ahead, or even just being alive and what's going to happen that's wonderful today, what miracles am I going to attract today is part of mine. You are setting the environment, the frequency for all the good things to occur. You are expecting it, yes, because your attitude is one that, as Charles Haanel said, is going to act like a magnet and draw it to you. So I hope this has helped you, my friends, and giving you something more to think about. And so I leave you and wish you great happiness, joy, peace of mind, and self-empowerment. Until next time.